I have a very strange one for you guys. Swallow. Pregnant housewife Hunter finds herself with increasingly compelling urges to swallow dangerous objects. It starts off as a marble, turns into a thumbtack until this obsession eventually grows, putting her life in danger until she has to confront the root of this new obsession. And I was not going to review this film. In fact, I watched this the other night before dinner. Let this be a warning. Don't eat around this film. Like, don't watch this when you have an appetite. Very hard watch. This is a very unsettling film. Made me kind of squeamish at points. This is not for the faint of heart. One of the more difficult films I have watched in a very long time. Made me super uncomfortable. I've never heard anybody talk about this. I scour lists all the time looking for new things to watch. I watch reviews. I've never seen anybody talk about this film. I've never seen it mentioned ever. So I feel like I needed to talk about it. Kind of reminded me of The Substance, not in the chaotic manner it's filmed, but it's very vibrant. There's a lot of pinks and light blues. It's a very well-made movie, well acted, but it reminded me of The Substance because it's so vibrant with such dark tone to what the movie's actually about. And I thought that contrast was just really good for conflicting the viewer off the bat with what they're going to be watching. That's what this movie does so well. Pretty early on, you find out that Hunter has a very unfulfilling life. She lives at home as a stay-at-home mom. She's married to a rich executive named Richie. She's bearing his child, but it's almost as if that's a means to an end for him and his family. They don't really care about her. It's not like they want to start a family with her. They just need her to have a kid for him. But it's a very unsatisfying existence. She just feels like she has no control and no purpose. One of those situations where whenever somebody talks to her, they'll ask her how her day is, and immediately they cut her off, change the subject. She's just not taken very seriously. And to be honest, that's pretty much my biggest pet peeve in the world. If you ask me how my day is, you ask me anything, and I start to give you an answer and you cut me off, my God, does it piss me off. It's my biggest pet peeve. So I immediately related to this character because why are you going to ask me that if you don't let me answer? That's the type of life she's living at home. So she decides she's going to start swallowing dangerous objects to maintain some form of control. And it's a very compelling film. I was never bored during it, but it is a very strange and uncomfortable watch, as I have to say again. The key to this film is it's a very conflicting film. It puts the viewer in a moral dilemma at almost all points with what you're supposed to be thinking and feeling, because she's obviously in the family of this asshole who doesn't care about her at all. They're very abusive in some ways. So you're kind of rooting for her even when she picks up this strange obsession to beat whatever she's going through. But you also simultaneously know what she's doing is not healthy whatsoever. She's putting her life and the unborn child's life at risk by digesting these terribly dangerous objects. So you're watching this person you kind of want to root for, but then the assholes are making some good points as well. Like, she is pregnant, so you can see both sides of the coin here. You kind of want to root for her as our main character, but you also kind of think that the idiots are making good sense of this too. She's not acting rational at all, and she does need help. It's just an interesting film that starts unfolding layer by layer when you start finding out why she is the way she is. I wouldn't really categorize this as a body horror movie. It's just a psychological drama character study that's very slow but well done with body horror elements. And I appreciated that because I'm not super into body horror. I was hoping this wouldn't just be a grotesque thing. It's a conflicting watch because you obviously realize she's hurting her own body and the unborn child's. But what would cause a person to go to these lengths and to do these actions to themselves? That's also equally as scary and unsettling. Psychological damage. What leads a person to this point? I did some research on this. Apparently, this is a real disorder people pick up to deal with stress and trauma. They just start eating and swallowing things. Didn't know that was a real thing, but that might be the new fear I have. I didn't know that was a thing, but my God, that is terrifying. One of those things you just hope you don't marry into, I guess. This movie was not what I expected it to be, though, as I said again. I thought it was just going to be a run-of-the-mill, generic, and grotesque body horror film, but it has a lot to say. It turns into this slow burn, very satisfying character study that I'm not sure I would watch again. It is a very hard watch, but I'm glad I watched this film. I'm glad it turned out to be what it was. Start learning about her past, why she is the way she is, what's going on between her and Richie's family, her own family past, why she is the way she is because of events that happened in the past. And quite frankly, it kind of ends up being heartbreaking in some ways. But I also thought the message behind it was easy to understand and done very well. So this is not a movie for everybody by any means, but it's also a movie that kind of has been lingering with me, hence I wanted to review it. Watched it a couple of nights ago and it stuck with me. That's why I'm talking about it now. Not an easy watch, so if you're up for it, if you're somebody who can put up with a slow movie, engage with these characters, take note of what this movie's trying to say, I think it's a really, really well done movie. The lead, Haley Bennett, is phenomenal. She really sells you on this character. She has a lot of layers to her, but she also gives you good reasons when she wraps the layers back of what her past was like, why she is the way she is. She's a likable and rootable character. But if you're up for the challenge and this sounds interesting enough the way I'm describing it, I recommend you check out Swallow. I definitely think you could do worse. I know this movie came out about 5 years ago or so, but if you have seen it, comment down below, let me know what you think, or let me know what your favorite body horror movie is. Don't say the substance. As always, if you haven't subscribed, join me down below. I love talking movies with you, but that's all I got in this video. Peace.